Thank you very much, Cathaoirleach. But this is relate to the provision of insurance in areas that were prone to flooding and where flood defences have been put in place. There are still areas. Areas which have had the flood defence mechanisms put in place and are still finding it extremely difficult to get insurance. And I'm just wondering what the department is doing to ensure that this is no longer the case.
Thank you for raising this question. The government strategy is that the return to the investment of flood defence scheme is the most at-risk communities. Householders and business should be able to access flood insurance. The provision of flood insurance cover, the level of premiums charged and the policies terms applied are a matter for individual insurance. The Deputy will acknowledge that the Office of Public Works has no responsibility or oversight or regulation of the insurance industry in relation to flood risk insurance or to the insurance matters generally. The Office of Public Works has a very specific role in exchanging information with the insurance industry in relation to the completed flood defence schemes to agree a standard of protection desired by the industry. A memorandum of understanding agreed on the 24th of March 2014 between the Office of Public Works and Insurance Ireland, the representative body for the insurance companies in Ireland, has a specific focus on agreeing a base on which information can be provided to the insurance industry on flood relief schemes completed by the OPW. It is important to note that the memorandum requires that while insurers take full account of the information provided by the Office of Public Works on completing flood defence schemes, it does not guarantee the availability of flood risk cover in locations for which information has been provided by the OPW. But since the time of the level of insurance cover from the homes of small business from areas protected, the Office of Public Flood Defence schemes, on an average, I'm happy to say the increase of insurance from 75% to 82%.
Thank you very much, Deputy.
Thank you. Well, Minister, I suppose you're acutely aware in relation to the devastation flood causes to family homes and businesses, and I certainly could take lectures from you as opposed to give you any advice in that regard. But when people go through that, when they go through the trauma and they have to move out of their house, move back into their house, having availed and cashed in their insurance policy, they'll never get insurance again for as long as that house or that business remains in an area that is in a floodplain or liable for flooding. I think we'll agree on that. But where good work is being done by your department or by local county councils, and flood defences are put in place which alleviates the risk of any future flooding, I think it's simply not good enough that every single house where that work has been undertaken at a large expense to the state, that those people continue to be refused house insurance. They're living in their home, and the very minimum they can expect is to have the protection of a house insurance policy. And I suppose my question here today is, when can we expect this government to ensure that in every area that flood defence mechanisms has been put in place will be able to avail of a house insurance policy?
Minister.
First of all, I acknowledge in relation to what you said in relation to the good work my department and the local authorities do, and I recognise that myself. But I would set out that earlier this year, thanks to my colleague here, Minister for Finance, I got £1 billion in protection of the people of this country. 95% of people in this country will be protected over the next 10 years in relation to flood defences. Where we put in these defences, we've passed on that information to the insurance companies. As we see now, as I said at the outset, that's gone from 77 to 80%. That is a huge improvement from where we were. We now see where insurance companies are acknowledging where work has been done. They are now taking up that and insuring the people into the future. But I could say to you, Deputy, everywhere I go, down the country even yesterday, people are saying, Minister, just let the scheme start and get us protected, and we'll worry about the insurance afterwards. But that, I know, is not the answer to the business of those people that we're protected all want to hear. But what I do know is that protecting those people is my priority, and I am working with Insurance Ireland, providing them the information and trying to ensure that they take up the work that we're doing and insure these people into the future.
Final comment.
Thank you. the simple point is there's 18% where work has been completed that still can't avail of home insurance or business insurance. For the most part, a family's home is their pride and joy, but also it's their biggest cash outlay they'll ever have. And if anything was to happen, they don't have the capacity to replace that. So, do we need legislation to be brought in to ensure that the insurance companies don't continue? Acknowledge 75%, 82%, but there's still 18%. And the question I'd like to ask is, in terms of actual houses and people, have we a figure in that, in terms of the number of houses who can't avail of it? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to ensure that everybody is able to benefit of the improvements, not just a select few. And I acknowledge the work that's been done, but how can we ensure that the houses that are not able to avail of their house insurance now can avail of it, considering that the work has been put in place?
Thank you. Final comment, Minister.
Deputy, I would say to you, I acknowledge what you're saying, but I also have to acknowledge that the work that's been done and the increase that's taken place with the insurance company. Everyone wants to hit and bait the insurance with a stick, but I find working with them and going to them, giving them the information they require, they're now stepping up to the mark of insuring themselves. Would I like to see it faster? Yes, but I also have to acknowledge that working with them, we're getting through those problems that you outlined. But I'd say to you, in a place where we have built defences and where we see them have gone back to the insurance company, working through the local authorities and working through the OPW, people are getting insurance. People are.